Hey everybody, Mr. Morel here, and we're going to talk about homework assignment 10.5, which is exponential regression. Now, this is going to be very, very similar to the linear regression that we saw in the last video. So I'm not going to take a lot of time on this video. A lot of it's just going to have to be your work in the calculator. And, yeah, I feel good about that. So, let's go ahead. Question 1. Now, a lot of the steps that you would take to find the exponential regression are the same as we wrote in 10.4. The only change is that once you've got your data typed in, then from the home screen you want to push stat, and then over. That's the same as before. But instead of picking option 4, linreg, what you're going to do is pick option 0, expreg. And then you don't have to do anything for question 2. It's just an explanation that the screen will tell you A equals and B equals and whatever. Alright, so below is an example of what you might see on your screen of a calculator, just like that. And what it's doing is asking you to find the equation. Notice, the equation is going to look like this. Oh, I just did that real bad. Y equals A times B to the x power. We're used to seeing that y equals blank times blank to the x power. A is right here, so we're going to round 2 decimal places, 11.85. Remember, I know I'm going to keep this number spot. I look at the next number, which is bigger than 5, and so I'm going to bump that 4 up to a 5. B is going to be 0.83, and the reason why it's 0.83 is I know I'm going to keep the number 3 in that spot-ish. I look at the number next to it, 4, which is smaller than 5, so I'm going to keep the 3 the way that it is. Question 4 says, what is the correlation coefficient? Remember, the correlation coefficient is found in the R number. That's our correlation right there. So it is 0.77. Now you'll need to go back and use your number line helper guide to triple check this. Oh, and I just made the big mistake that most of my students make. I forgot that there's a negative right there, so it's negative 0.77. Okay, so we need 2 words to describe this, and if I'm looking at my little number line, I know for sure it's going to be negative. So whatever the data was, it's putting the dots in a downward trend. And 0.77 is in the strong range, so this is going to be negative strong relationship. Alright, so basically from here on out, what I need you guys to do is to type data into your calculators. We're going to type the week numbers in for our X column, or L1, and then you're going to type in the percentage of the lake covered as a Y column, which happens in L2. You're going to type that information in, follow the steps on the level 1 questions. You'll get a screen that looks like the screen we saw in level 1. And then from there, you're going to go ahead and just answer these questions. Don't ask me what happened down here. I have no idea. Anyway, and then question 9 is asking you to use your equation from question 6 and to plug in a 40 for x, since our x numbers were weeks. So it wants to know how much plant there is after 40 weeks. Okay, same exact idea with level 2. We've got our x, or with these questions on the backs, x and y, so that's going to be L1 and L2, and you're going to follow through with that. Question 3 is asking you, it's kind of a deeper question, but it's trying to figure out when we're going to get to 1% of the lake coverage, and what that's going to entail is a little bit of guessing and checking on your part. So you're going to have to pick some week numbers and plug them into the calculator and get as close to 1% as you possibly can. Now your big hint here is that 1% is the same as 0.01. So you're trying to plug in x numbers into your equation that you write on question 10. That's where you write your equation. And you're trying to plug in numbers for x until you get 0.01 out. Alright. Now, question 4. Question 4 is me kind of checking to see how well you understand what a correlation coefficient is. So I need you to be specific when you mention correlation coefficients in this fake letter you're writing to the government. I'm checking to see if you understand what a correlation coefficient is. So if you can demonstrate that understanding, I'm going to give you a point for that level 4 question. If you can't demonstrate that understanding, then you're not going to get that question. So just be prepared. Alright, that's all I wanted to tell you guys today. I hope you have an amazing life and day and night and hour and minute. Okay, bye.